Hey there, this is Craig with the 107 Project, and today we're going over bikepacking repair kits. This is the bikepacking repair kit that I used on the bikepacking portion of the 107 Project, which is over 4,000 miles of bikepacking on the Colorado, the Tour Divide, and the Arizona Trail Race. Before I go inside and show you what's inside this guy, I wanted to go over two things that you should consider when putting together your bikepacking repair kit. The first thing is really know your skill level of what you can handle and what you can't handle, because that's going to dictate maybe what you bring with you and what you don't bring. The second thing is just your confidence using those tools and whether or not it's something that you've actually done before. You don't want to be trying to do stuff on the trail that you don't have that confidence to get done, because you're on your own. That's bikepacking racing if you're racing. So keep those in mind, and then let's head inside and we'll take a look at what's inside this little guy. All right, so this is my repair kit that I use for when I go bikepacking. It's also the repair kit that I used on the bikepacking portion of the 1 of 7 project. That included the Tour Divide, the Colorado Trail, and the Arizona Trail. A little over 4,000 miles of bikepacking. As you can see, it's pretty compact, not a lot here, and I'm going to go through it for you. First off, give you locations of where these were. The pump, the 2 tubes, the chain lube, the tire sealant, and the 2 spokes that I had for my front wheel were all in the main frame bag. The rest of the items you see here all fit into this Defiant Packs top tube bag. So before I go into them, I'd like to say about tubes is, as we know, tubes are fragile. Be sure that when you pack your tubes, they're in a spot where they will not be compromised. I had 2 tubes come out of my frame bag in 2 different locations that were compromised because they were chafed by some other item in my pack. So just make sure that you pack your tubes properly and that they're safe and they will come out 100%. All right, next up, so we got the Lezyne pressure drive pump here. Put some duct tape on the handle. Got a Pedro's tire lever. I like those because they never break. Then I have a CO2 here for putting a bead back on the tire. And then I have a small mini lighter, which I did not have to use. We have the Gerber dime multi-tool, which I used for its scissors and a few of the screwdriver items that are on it that did not come on this Park tool here. This is the IB3 by Park tool. Gotta say, I'm not a fan. They fall apart, the bolts come undone. And the other thing is these Allens are very short, which can be a problem because there's certain locations on your bike that they need to be longer to reach. Also, it's very wide. I have a seat post and the bolt is in the front here, if this was it, and it turns and hits. So make sure that if you're traveling someplace and when you take your bike apart and you put it together, you only want to use the tool that you have with you, because you can't use the other tools at home when you get to your destination. So make sure that tool has everything you need to put the bike together, take it apart, and maintain it on the trip. Next up, I had a set of brake pads I did not use. I had a piece of rag. I had multiple sizes of zip ties and safety pins. I brought chain lube with me as well. You see, I brought a full bottle. There's only about that much left, and that was after 4,000 miles. So be aware that on rides like the Tour Divide or the Arizona Trail, I put chain lube on sometimes 4 times a day, and even then the chain was still dry. So expect to go through a lot. Brought 3 ounces of tire sealant here, so I wanted to recharge my tire. And that's the main stuff. You'll see this tin here is not mints. All these items you see here all fit into this guy. We had tire plugs here, which I used 1. Unfortunately, that hole was too big. Next up, we have on the tire department, we have some sealless patches by Park Tools there. I doubled up the patches and kept the sandpaper in there. I have a tire boot as well, 3 of them to go with the tire repair section. Then I have a cleat with 2 bolts. I have 2 seat bolts for my Thompson Masterpiece. I have a thread, which is actually floss, and a needle for sewing a tire or other items. I have 2 master links. I have a derailleur hanger for my bicycle. I have 2 valve cores, and most importantly, the tool to remove the valve cores. And the last item we have here over here is this Brooks saddle tool, and that is a specialty item. And what I'd like to say about that is to point out, be sure if you have a specialty item like the seat like mine, like this, the Brooks, or say a pair of cranks or some other item on your bike that requires a special tool to work on it, make sure that you bring that as long as it's realistic. A lot of these small towns don't have bike shops. They don't even have hardware stores. So getting a tool to fix something, especially if it's a specialty item, could prove very difficult on a remote ride, something like the Tour Divide or out of the country. So keep that in mind. Make sure you bring that with you. But yeah, that's it. Very compact, simple, and yeah, there you go. All right, once you guys have seen my kit and what it entailed, I want to leave you with two more things. The first kind of goes with the other two I gave you earlier, which is people are going to give you their opinions on what you should bring. Really just go with your knowledge and your confidence level, kind of go with that gut, and they might have some good suggestions, but again, you know, in the end, it's your decision. Bring what you're comfortable with. And the second and last thing that I wanted to tell you guys to do is test that kit, which is really hard. I mean, it's a repair kit. If your bike's not broken, how are you going to fix it? I like to do is I sit and look at my bike, I go from the front to the back, from the top to the bottom, and I basically look at it and say, hey, what could go wrong? What could break? And then I ask myself, what can I fix and what do I want to carry in that kit? And yeah, that covers everything that you guys saw there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up in the button below, and also subscribe, as we'll have more videos coming out. And again, thank you for watching, and if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave those below, and I will do my best to answer those to the best of my ability. All right, thanks a lot. Get out there.